Hey guys, what's up? This is Com965 here. Just want to talk about some random stuff. I said I was going to do a review on the Greatest Rivalry Shawn Michaels Bret Hart DVD. I still am going to do that later tonight. I haven't gotten around to watching it just yet, but I will watch it shortly, probably after I'm done doing this. So I look forward to that video. But what I did want to talk about in this video was just some random things in wrestling, nothing in particular, just some little couple random things. One was that you guys also knew that if you watched my Friday Night SmackDown review, you'd know that one of the recent DVDs I showed you about was Night of Champions, and I watched it earlier this morning, and seeing the Mark Henry Randy Orton match, seeing it back again, what I noticed, what I didn't notice the first time I watched the pay-per-view, was people's reactions, the crowd reaction, like their facial expressions when Mark Henry won. And I just think it's so funny because I love it when people are like disappointed, and I won't say I love when they're disappointed, but I love their facial expressions of disappointment when their superhero or favorite wrestler loses, and especially if they lose a title match. It's like when Sheamus beat John Cena for the WWE Championship at TLC. The expression on all of the kids' faces was like so funny. Here at Money in the Bank, me saying the kids' expressions when John Cena lost, because the angle was if Cena lost to Punk, then Cena would get quote unquote fired if you let Punk walk out with the championship. Punk left with the championship, as we all know, and seeing some of the kids' faces in attendance, they're like, "Oh my God, John Cena's gonna get fired." I mean, it's just funny stuff. I think it's funny some people's like facial expressions that they have when their guy, like John Cena and Randy Orton, I just say for those two at least, when they lose a title, because it's kind of like the same thing when Miz cashed in on Randy Orton. How everyone had like these disappointed, sorry, sad faces. It's funny. Sorry about that. I had a nail ink right now. But anyway, one of the random things I wanted to talk about was that, I have to bring this out, that I don't think a lot of fans know, probably pay attention, maybe because WWE are kind of like putting, I don't know, the wool over everyone's eyes. But, this whole angle that they had going on, has it ever occurred to you guys? I've been thinking about it myself, and I'm like, there's no way, like, WWE are trying to, like, I guess try to be slick, but have you guys ever noticed that since this whole walkout angle and everything else, and Triple H being replaced as the GM of Raw, they never really explained as to still, like, who's the mystery guy pulling the strings, behind the scenes, like, who's the mystery guy, who's trying to prevent Punk from being the WWE champion, or who's trying to, cause the whole destruction and everything with Triple H and not wanting Triple H to be the COO or running Raw. Like, whatever happened to that? Like, I'm still trying to figure out with the WWE. They're probably, WWE, I have to say, they're probably smart for doing this, because, it's like they have so much stuff going on. If you really think about it, I don't think there's some people like I am who are just sitting back and just thinking about this, because, okay, you got Punk going into this thing with the Del Rio. Triple H has this thing going on with Kevin Nash, obviously, and he's still like the quote-unquote COO. What's his name? Johnny Ace is the general manager of Raw, and it doesn't seem like over the last couple of weeks, he's kind of been, like, toned down a bit. You don't see him being kind of like the undermining, I guess you'd say, stooge under Triple H or something like that, if that makes any sense. So all these different elements, it's like it took focus off, it's like they use this as an example to take focus off on everything else, like what happened to the quote-unquote higher-up power who's pulling the strings, whatever happened to, the purpose really of Vince McMahon, coming back just to tell Triple H that the company has, put Johnny Ace in charge of Raw instead of you. Like, what was the point and purpose of that? What was the purpose and point of Stephanie McMahon when she had made little appearances here and there on SummerSlam and backstage appearances on Raw? Where does that lead to? That hasn't gone anywhere. It's just those little key elements that I've noticed that WWE has not addressed, but they've been doing so much of this other stuff, and then you have Cena and Rock for Survivor Series, and that's going to continue going on for a while. So you have all these different elements where it's distracting the audience, but the audience, I don't think, pay attention and say, like, hold on, whatever happened to that upper, quote-unquote, higher power that's pulling all the strings in the back and causing all this destruction and whatnot? I don't think a lot of fans really pay attention to that. And yet, not only just the fans, but I don't think that WWE creative, they're not paying attention as to what they're doing. And so, like, when they're writing stories, to make sure that, like, for every action there's a consequence. You know what I mean? Like, a certain formula. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think they even know what they're doing. So I just wanted to bring that point out, if you pay attention to it. Another thing I also wanted to bring out was, I told you guys about, a month and a half ago, that John Morrison, his contract was expiring late this year. And it's been reported now indefinitely his contract is expiring, and he's not very interested, I don't think, in re-signing with WWE. His contract expires on December, I think, 13th. His contract expires, and they hinted or said from close sources that John Morrison is maybe interested in going over to TNA. Now, here's how I see if John Morrison does not get re-signed his contract within the next month. Here's how I see it, if he does go to TNA or not, is that, okay, if John Morrison does go to TNA, from WWE's perspective, or from my perspective of how WWE feel about that, or the stats of WWE, I think it would be just a little lost, a little bit, because John Morrison is a good, upper mid-card wrestler, and he was a mid-card wrestler, unlike the rest of the guys that they have now, where he was already pretty much, set. He had his gimmick, he had his character, he was already set, and packaged and ready to go. So, I think it's a little bit of a downside to that aspect because, like I said, they lose, a good upper mid-card wrestler who's already established in terms of gimmick and character and finding his niche. But on the other hand, I don't think losing John Morrison will hurt WWE a whole bunch either, because you do have some of those other guys too, like Miz and Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne. Dolph Ziggler's coming into his own, Cody Rhodes, guys like that who can, those 5 guys on the top of my head, they could easily fill up that spot, that John Morrison would leave open should he leave WWE. So in a way, like I said, it'll be a kind of a loss, but it wouldn't be so much to the point where it would really hurt WWE a lot if Morrison leaves. Now, if TNA does get him, how I see things, my perspective in terms of TNA is that I think it would be great for the X division. I think it would be good for the X division. But I think that's probably like the only really positive side I can see to it. Having Morrison as the X division, I think you make a great asset to that. But as for the negative aspect of it, I see, John Morrison going to TNA, it wouldn't be any different, or any other game-changing thing that they've done since they brought in, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, and Brian Kendrick, and Sting, and, Kurt Angle. It wouldn't be any different. Hulk Hogan, and these guys have more recognition and more popularity than John Morrison, and they haven't done anything to help elevate TNA. So really, having John Morrison there wouldn't help elevate TNA anymore or anything like that. And also, too, should they bring John Morrison in, expect another not another release or pay cut from another TNA original. And if Morrison comes in, the first person I see walking, if they do release a talent to bring Morrison in, the first person I see leaving is Frankie Kazarian, because Frankie Kazarian hasn't been on TV, and I don't know how long since the last time I watched TNA. I'm still in my band on my strike. It's been about a month and a half now, and I haven't watched TNA since then. But the last time I saw Frankie Kazarian, well, I think it was like the week before Bound for Glory, with that whole, when he was trying to split up Danielson and AJ Styles. That was the last time I seen him. I don't know if he's back on TV or not, because I haven't been watching TNA. So he'll be the first person I'd see they let go should Morrison come in. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. So that's pretty much it. Just let me know what you guys think. About John Morrison. Should he go? When he goes, if he does go to TNA, because it is indefinite, his contract will expire. If he does go, should he go to TNA? What are your thoughts on him if he goes to TNA and things of that sort? And also the aspect of WWE, should they let him go? And also let me know what you guys think about how WWE never really acknowledged that upper, higher power type of angle that they were playing with, and trying to prevent Punk from being the champ and Triple H lose control. How they kind of steered away from that mystery upper power person, how they're not acknowledging that now. So let me know what you guys think about the two subjects and topics, and stay tuned later tonight, because I'll do a review on the Greatest Rivalry, Shawn Michaels Bret Hart DVD. Have a good day.